Section 2, small steps that make huge differences. I contemplated whether or not I was going to put this in, to be honest with you guys, because this is a lot of the footwork. And for a lot of people, it's boring. But it's so essential for your success that, boring or not, it's going to make you succeed. So, and they're really, there's a lot of these little tiny things that you have to do in your pre-rollout phase that will literally give you just enormous advantages over everyone else. So let's go through them. This is going to be a little bit of a longer section because I want to make sure I explain all of these to you in great detail. So let's get started. Competitive research. Now, competitive research is everything. If you ask me, you should know everything about your competitors all the time. This is why super affiliates do, like we talked about before. If you're a good super affiliate, you know everything about everyone. You know exactly what everyone's doing. You know exactly how they're doing it. And these are the tools that we use to know what everyone's doing. So let's look at each one of them individually. Evernote. Evernote is a fantastic website that allows you to save each of the different pages that you're looking at, not just in a screen capture format, because a lot of us have done screen captures in the past where we'll do a snapshot of a screen and we'll save it to a swipe file, right? Which means a swipe file, for those of you who aren't familiar with it, is a file that you can look at later on and look at what all your competitors are doing. Well, Evernote takes swipe files to a whole new level, allowing you to save the entire web page so that you can look at each of them later on. Not only that, but you can go through and type in a keyword, and you can say, hey, give me everything that has to do with diet, or give me everything that has to do with business opportunity, or give me everything that has to do with ClickBank. You type in ClickBank, and it'll bring up every single reference to that word in all the pages that you've stored. So you get to quickly see which one of your competitors has used the word ClickBank in any of their pages that you've stored using Evernote. So here's the kicker. We've got all the Evernote pages already. You get access to our Evernote files. It's in the Tools and Resources section. You've got it already. Log into Evernote, look at our shared files, and use it to your advantage, and make your own account also so that you can go through and save things that are important to you. I highly, highly recommend Evernote for all of your usage of swipe files. Let's look at AppSpy now. I included a link to AppSpy just because I think AppSpy is so important. Not that I don't think Evernote is. I think it is also, but it's one of those ones that I'd like to show you some real-world examples of. So let's go visit AppSpy now. For those of you who aren't familiar with AppSpy, AppSpy is a fantastic online resource for, oh goodness, of course, now that I'm going to show it to you guys, my web browsers are acting up on me. AppSpy is a great resource for doing competitive analysis. There it is, yay! Took it a minute. Of course, AppSpy is still in beta. Okay, now, with AppSpy, we can go through and look at any offer and figure out exactly what offers are out there for what niches. So let's go ahead and pick a niche. So let's say business opportunity. Oh, better yet, let's go Google, because there's all kinds of Google offers out there right now, right? Let's look at what the Google offers look like right now in the affiliate networks. You guys are going to be looking at this later on. You can use AppSpy anytime you want to figure out what the landing pages look like, what the payouts look like, everything. So go to AppSpy, type in what you want, and hit search. It's going to go through and look through, not every affiliate network in here, but a lot of them are, but it'll look through some of the big ones, and it will give you back a listing of every single CPA offer in those networks that contains the word at whatever your search criteria is inside the campaign itself. So it's working now. Here we go. Looks like we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of these that contain Google in here. We got Google Fast Cash, Earn Fast Cash with Google, Google Moneymaker, Google SEO, and Google Moneymaker New. All of these have varying payouts: 27, 31, 17, 21 to 29, and $27. Oh, look, there's more showing up now. Google Money Tree, Quick Cash with Google, Make Money with Google, which is really not making money with Google. That's Google the at-home jobs. Google Money Secrets, Google Profits. Look at all these. I mean, the list goes on and on and on. And it'll show you how many networks there are in. So this one's in 2 networks. The rest of this one's in 2 networks. The rest of these look like they're in 1. Here's one that's in 4 networks. Google SEO Supervisor. Let's look at that one. Just because it's in 4 networks, let's take a moment to look and see why the payouts vary with each of these networks and what the landing pages looks like. So we'll click on View Details, and it will drill down into the details for, there we go. Looks like it is in Epicenter, Neverblue, CX Digital, and Elite Commission affiliate networks, or CPA networks, with Neverblue being the only one that allows for email with the payout of $28. $29 here at Epicenter, $27 at CX, $27 at CX doing banner and other. You'll be able to go through and look at what your competitors' landing pages look like by just clicking Preview Landing Page, or you can join the network by clicking Join Network. So let's click Preview Landing Page for just a moment, keeping in mind that some of these Google offers don't really match up with a lot of the information I'm going to show you. Some of them are longer copy sales pages. Some of them stay shorter. This one looks like it might be a bit shorter. Yeah, this is right along the same format. So if you look as this page loads up, they follow much of the same consistent format for offers. Could use a little bit of improvement, get a much higher conversion ratio. But doing this, you're able to go through and review all of your competitors in whatever niche you're in, how much they're paying out, and what their landing pages look like. Then you can take the best elements of each landing page and incorporate them into your own. Okay? So you can go through and do that with any of them that you want using this amazing resource called AppSpy. Pretty simple. Really not a lot to go into more than that. Okay, so in your competitive research, we showed AppSpy. So now we want to say, okay, go out and join all the affiliate networks, because AppSpy is going to be a good tool for you to get kind of an overview of what the payouts are, like we talked about, what the landing pages look like, comparisons of what each of the different landing pages look like, and why some are paying out more, why some are paying out less. But you really need to join all the networks so you can see for yourself, and ask your affiliate program manager which one is doing better, keeping in mind that sometimes you'll get 100% truth and sometimes you won't. Just depends upon how what they need to promote at that moment. Here's an example. If I'm running an affiliate network and so-and-so has run out of budget for their offer, or their merchant accounts are down low, I'm going to send you to another offer. And even though that might not be my best converting offer, I'm going to have to send you there anyway. Why? Well, because other guy's out of money. Because other guy's out of money, now I really love this program. Even though it's not a better program, I got to send you there anyway. And I can't tell you that the other guy ran out of money. So probably what I'm going to do is tell you, try this one. This one's doing really good this week. When in actuality, it's another program that that was running last week that was doing better. So just keep these things in mind when you're going through and doing your analysis. That take everything with a grain of salt. Let's just say that. Okay? Okay. So join all the networks that you can, at least the top 10 or 20 networks if you can. That'd be really helpful for you. Use SpyFu to be able to do an analysis of their pay-per-click campaigns. I don't really do a lot of pay-per-click stuff, so I'm not going to talk about something I don't know anything about. Alexa you can use. I know a lot of you are probably already familiar with Alexa. It will give you great resources, additional publishers, and lots of good information about traffic for the website, demographics. One of the new ones, one of the ones I shouldn't say new, but one of the ones that I really like a lot. I say new because I'm using this a lot more myself. We used to use Nielsen Net Ratings a lot, but now I really like Quantcast for you guys because it's free, and free is cool. So let's go take a look at Quantcast real quick. Quantcast will be able to give you the data and information about any one of the websites that are out there. So if you find a competitor, you can type the competitor's URL into Quantcast, and it'll tell you other sites. where the traffic's coming from, they give you some pretty good information. You'll really like it. Just play with it a little tiny bit. Click around and you'll be blown away. So it's loading up for us now. Okay, it's loaded up. You notice it's got three different sections here, and media buyers, marketers, and publishers. And you can find out an awful lot of stuff about an awful lot of things. Let's say we want to know more about Hulu, because they've got that as a great example here. Let's find the profile on Hulu and see exactly what kind of traffic that is and what kind of users they are. This gives you everything, the demographic, male to female, what the audience looks like, in age range, what their dominating ethnicity is, whether they have children or not, their income, and all of this information is free. How frequently people come back to the website, their business activity. It's pretty interesting to see these charts. You can also look at here, audience also viewed, so you can see where else they're going. So if you put in one of your competitors here, you'll be able to quickly find out. And I don't want to put someone in here and pick on anyone, but you'll be able to find out where else they're going. So, okay, let's pick on someone. Let's pick on eBay. So, if I were to create a competing website to eBay, which I would never do, but if I were, where else do they go? Well, it looks like they're at ebayuniversity.com. Wow. Somehow these guys really like ebayuniversity.com. I don't know what the hell that is, but interesting. They also like Vendio, InkFrog, Seller Source Book, whatever this is, Kyozo, Net Loan Online, eBay Green Team. So if I was interested in selling stuff to an eBay market, I would really want to know what eBay University is. I would absolutely want to go to that website and figure out, why do people really like eBay University so much? I'd probably just type it right in. Is eBay University a third-party offer, or is eBay University, it's actually pages within eBay, teaching people. But I guarantee you that some of these are also outsourced. So you can find out exactly which program you'd want to sell to eBay people. Make sense? Okay. So that's enough about Quantcast. Really a tremendous resource. Use that as much as you can. Let's go back to our presentation. Attention meter is a really cool one. It'll mix a whole bunch of them together for you. Not much more to say than that. Just go check out attentionmeter.com. Type in whatever URL you're interested in researching, and these are great competitive analysis tools. Make sure that you know your competition better than they know themselves, because most companies you're going to find don't even have the slightest idea what they're doing. So if you know what they're doing better than they know what they're doing, you can beat them easily. If you've got the budget, TNS is a fantastic resource. It's a couple grand a month. What is it, Ray? Like $2,500? $2,500 a month for just the banner version that will go through and tell you what banners they're using and what ads they're pushing out in display and where they're advertising in display. I use that. I love that resource. I use it religiously. So if you can afford it, go for it. Let's talk about your asset collection, because asset collection is, first thing you want to do is, okay, what's my competition looking like? Who else is in my space? What are they doing? How are they doing it? And what should I be doing like them? Or what should I be doing better than them? What are the key pieces I can take away from their campaigns that I want to integrate into my own campaign? Now, once we've done that initial competitive analysis, now we can start thinking, oh man, I need to collect me some cool stuff like those guys got. And here's what you're going to go about collecting. You're going to collect your copy assets, your image assets, your video assets, testimonials, your substantiation, your objections and rebuttals, your products, packages, offers, your technologies, your comparisons, and your psychological assets. Now, this isn't a complete end-all, be-all list, but I don't want to flood you guys with too much stuff, and this is going to be a lot already. So this asset really means anything that you can use later on to build your perfect process, okay? So assets can be anything, but this is a good starter list. Let's go through these one at a time because they're that important. Copy assets: headlines, subheadlines, body copy, bullet points, call to action, sub-call to action, disclaimer, call center scripts, all emails in and out, and save a sale. Let's go through each of those individually, because again, copy is king. Now, I don't believe necessarily in super long copy, but we'll explain more of that later on. Headlines. When you develop your headlines, please keep passive reading in mind. What passive reading means is that I need to be able to look at that advertisement or that headline and read it without having to read it. I don't want to have to read my headline. My headline should catch me at a subconscious level. If you look at each of these headlines, they all can be read without reading too much. So they activate that passive reading interest. They grab your attention with the passive reading interest, and they attract you to an active interest. So you will be pulled into the sub-headline because they pique your subconscious a little bit. Less is usually a lot more with headlines, and you have to attract their interest in less than 1 second. Think about that. Less than 1 second. That's ridiculous. That's how freaking ADD we are, is that you need to be able to talk to me in less than 1 second. I'll go more into the ADD stuff in a little bit, but just know that it's gotten absurd. I mean, you really got to do a damn good job. Look at these. I've given you some sample headlines. 1,000 sales per day? Wanted men 26 to 44. Tired of working? I did it. So can you. Due to recent ... last chance to try. These are all little gotchas that I've used over the last 10 years that help pull consumers in. There's a lot more than this, but this is a good starting base for you. Or I should say at least a good example for you. A good headline can increase your conversion ratio by 500% or more. That sounds unbelievable because you've heard a lot of people saying, well, I can increase by 20%, or I can increase conversion by 6% or 10%. Again, I'm going to have to call bullshit. A good headline can increase by 500%. You should be able to write a good enough headline that can increase your conversion ratio exponentially. Don't grab what everyone else has used. Try some out-of-the-box stuff. I have had the greatest successes of my entire life by going and doing the exact opposite of what everyone else did, including the short copy thing, which we'll get to. Use a good copywriter if you can, who can help to write you some really short headlines. I'm pausing for a second because I'm on the fence with copywriters, right? Okay, so I love copywriters, but I don't love copywriters. A lot of times a good copywriter is the guy who doesn't say he's a good copywriter, or girl who doesn't say they're a good copywriter. They don't think they're a good copywriter. Most great copywriters don't think they're good copywriters at all. They're conversationalists. So when I say use a good copywriter, I say that kind of tongue-in-cheek, like, use a good copywriter, but don't pay somebody who says he's a great copywriter. There's no other way I can explain that, you guys. I'm sorry. I wish I had a better way of explaining it for you, but I think you understand what I'm talking about. Here's a good example. A good copywriter will forget you in the equation. I put on Twitter that I needed a good copywriter, and I got a few people who sent me messages saying that they were great copywriters. So I looked at their page and like, I am the greatest copywriter in the world, blah, 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 blah. And I'm like thinking to myself, you absolutely suck. You can't be a good copywriter if you tell me how great you are, because I don't give a shit how good you are. My customer doesn't care how good I am. The only thing the customer cares about is what you're going to do for them. And that's what a good copywriter should be telling you in his copy. If he's going to send you good copy, is exactly what he's going to do for you or what she's going to do for you. So just keep that in mind, that you got to forget you in the equation when you're writing your copy or when you're having someone write copy for you. Have at least 10 or 20 good headlines at any point in time. Have some good ones in there and rank them so that you know how they performed. Know your consumer and your source. So headlines will vary from source to source, and they'll vary from consumer to consumer. One type of headline will be ineffective for men, but tremendously effective for women. One headline that you're using from a source from Reader's Digest will be completely different than the headline that you're going to use for College Humor again. You get the point, right? Okay, so just keep that in mind. One headline does not meet all your needs. Use large fonts, caps, and red and black. I'm kind of stuck on them because I love them. Large fonts sell product. Caps work. Red and black are awesome. I use red a little more sparingly. I'm not kind of one of those red freaks that use red on everything. And if you notice in this one, the copy that stands out is the black copy because I made everything else red on these copy points just for this presentation. And then I use black for the wanted, which probably pulls your interest first because it's different. Let's go on. Subheadlines. Bring your user into an active and reading and interest state, meaning that you want them to look and start reading at this point, whereas the headline, they should be able to flash recognize the words within 1 second. The best way of explaining that is like a stop sign. None of us read a stop sign. We know what a stop sign says because we've seen the word stop so many damn times. It doesn't even have to be octagon or whatever the hell. What shape is a stop sign? Is it octagon? No. There you go. See? It doesn't have to be red. It doesn't have to be octagon shape. If you just saw stop somewhere on a sign, you would never have to read it. You just instantly know it means stop. So active reading is when it says some words there and I actually have to start reading them. Use the subheadline to bring them into an active reading state, which gets them intrigued and starts tickling their left brain instead of using the right brain, which you use to attract their interest. So right brain brings them in, left brain keeps them in. So invite customers to use the left and the right brain. Offer the solution to problems stated in the headline. If you stated a problem in the headline, fix it in the subheadline, or pull them in deeper to keep reading copy to fix it. Give social proof or substantiation for the solution. Look at here what I've gotten in a couple of my subheadlines. Easily achieve 100 sales per day by creating a quick and super profitable partnerships with affiliates who are begging for offers just like yours. This amazing guide delivers 100 times the value, explaining all the ins and outs that drive 100 to 1,000 new customers per day to your door. I'm still going left, but I'm also going a little bit on the right there too. You notice? I'm giving you numbers and excitement, both in the same subheadline. So, smaller font. We want to use a smaller font in your subheadline by 50 to 75% plus or minus. You can play with this. These numbers aren't specific exact science. I usually go with that because it has worked out the best for me. Do I have an increase in conversion ratio for you? No, I don't. It just works better for me. Sorry. Pique curiosity to continue the interaction. If you got to keep going with the curiosity thing here. You know, like my headline from before said 1,000 sales per day. That piques the curiosity. Now the subheadline says easily achieve. This amazing guide delivers 100 times value, explaining all the details, all the in and outs of driving 100 to 1,000 new customers per day. Now, I answered the 1,000 customers per day question, but I posed another question that leads them to continue through the copy. Okay? So, 1 to 3 line breaks, and remember your line break rule. You can go more. I've seen people go more. Personally, I don't like to see more than 3 line breaks in my subheadline because anything more than 3 and it starts getting into paragraph material. Okay, and that's a different social commitment and mental commitment, or psychological commitment, if you will, to go from headline to subheadline to paragraphs. I'm making micro commitments at any time throughout the process, and we'll talk a little bit more about micro commitments. But remember your 1 to 3 line breaks is best for me, and remember your line break rule, which is when you hit that return button to start a new line, make sure that you understand that each line has to be readable on its own and make sense on its own. It doesn't have to be, but if you can make it happen that way, try. Just try. Try and make it so that each one can be read on its own accord, so that there's also still some passive to it. Creating a quick and super profitable partnership, that can be read on its own. Affiliates who are begging for offers just like you, that can be read on its own. Easily achieve 100 sales per day, that can be read on its own. This amazing guide delivers 100 times value, that can be read on its own. You get the point. Let's continue. Body copy. These are small bite-sized paragraphs that are usually no more than 4 to 6 lines tall and no wider than 8 to 12 words. Shorter is better. I gave you some examples here on the right for you to look at on how I like to construct my body copy. I don't like it to be too much. I would even probably go with a little more white space than this between my paragraphs. I just did this really fast for you. The more copy, keep in mind shorter is better. For me, shorter is always better. the more copy you use, the more likely you are to say something to turn off your user. It's been said that the average person is sold and unsold many times during a sales letter. Like, they're ready to buy many, many times. That's why a lot of people started stuffing links in between paragraphs, so that if you're ready to buy, you don't have to continue through the sales process. You can just click buy now in between a lot of the paragraphs. The more copy you use, the more likely you are to say something to turn off the user. So don't. In CPA world, you don't have to. In business opportunity world, yeah, you got to keep going, because you're trying to make a $2,000 sale. You're like, you got to say War and Peace in a lot of cases, or you're trying to make a $200 sale. You better go through it. But in the CPA world, most of the time you're making little micro sales, so you don't need a lot of copy. These are not big decisions people are making. They're a $4 decision. You don't need 16 pages of copy to make a $4 decision. Do you? Yeah, I think so. Remember not to buy into your own copy, and to have non-biased people read your copy to be easily understood. Think about your demographics. Obviously, if you're selling stock advice, don't give the copy to your mom or your grandma to read. If you're selling something that you want your mom or grandma to buy, have your mom or grandma read it. If you're selling something that you want a stockbroker to buy, get a stockbroker to read it. Get some objective input from other people, and people who aren't afraid of you or who are getting paid by you, because sometimes they may lie just so that they don't feel like an ass. So keep that in mind. No matter what we think as business owners and entrepreneurs, there's always someone there who's willing to say, oh yeah, that's fantastic, when they're thinking, God, it sucks. So get non-biased people. I think I've drilled that enough. Remember the line break rule here too. Line break rule applies to body copy as well. Always think about where you're placing your line break. Then look here on the right-hand side. More customers respond better to your message when you use regular speech instead of legal jargon or proper English. You have to decide right now, are you an English teacher or are you a marketer? You cannot be both. You have to be one or the other. Because remember who you're selling to. If you're selling to English teachers, by all means, be an English teacher. If you're selling to the upper echelon of America, who have these incredible vocabularies, who love being tickled with big long words, then by all means, get an English teacher to review your copy. However, if you are selling to the average American and our average education and our average vocabulary, recognize what we watch on TV. We watch programs with talking animal faces, and we watch American Idol, and we watch, not me personally, I don't watch these things, but I like Smallville. So just remember who you're dealing with. It doesn't have to be perfect. The punctuation doesn't have to be perfect. Just talk in normal English. Talk like you're talking. Talk like you talk to your best friend. Talk like you talk to your mom. When was the last time you had a conversation with someone and used the term, as per our previous arrangement? No, you would never say that. Never, ever. So don't do it with your customer. One of the most powerful tools for creating anticipation is the all-knowing, all-seeing ellipsis. I love ellipsis. Sometimes I go a little crazy using them, but beware of ellipsis overuse. And I'm saying that because I'm just as guilty of ellipsis overuse. I had to stop myself like 3 times when I was writing this paragraph to stop from using them too much. For the most part, 1 ellipsis per visible page scroll should be fine. You can use 2 or 3. I mean, you just have to use them sparingly. Don't go crazy. I'm personally guilty of using exclamation point way too much. I use it way too much because that's how I feel. I'm a passionate person, so I use it a lot. Remember to use your punctuation to help guide the reader through your proper pause points in your copy, even if they're not grammatically appropriate. Well, hopefully you're reading this while you're seeing it, because this is really good. Someone once asked me at an event I attended in Las Vegas, and someone quoted me on this yesterday. At the event, someone asked me, would you rather be rich or would you rather be right? And that's when I said, shit. Because I was always spending my time correcting people, because that's what my dad did to me. He corrected me on stuff, on mistakes that I would make. No, it's actually like this. And I'm like, shit. All right. So what did I do? I grew up correcting people. And at that one event, when that guy said that, I'm like, crap. That's when I started shutting up, and I started listening. And I started making a tremendous amount more money, too. So just keep that in mind. Doesn't have to be perfect. It just has to be right for the average person. Sure, you are going to get emails from English teachers who will want to correct your English and your punctuation and your grammar. Let them. Thank them for their astuteness and their attention to detail. In fact, you can even offer one of a job as your editor. Great. Hey, you know what? You're fantastic. Would you mind reviewing my pages for me? I'll pay you $100 a page to go through and review my pages for me and fix some punctuation and grammar stuff. Then you can go through and take out whatever they put in that turns off the average user. Because there are some times when it's, when you'll make mistakes that do need to be changed. Just recognize which ones need to be changed and which ones are just for perfection's sake. Bullet points. Keep your bullet points short and simple. Avoid line breaks in your bullet points if you can. It makes bullet point reading much, much easier. Keeping consistent lengths of your bullet points will also help out in certain circumstances. Sometimes it's helpful to have longer ones. Sometimes it's helpful to have them all consistent. If you look at the way that these bullet points are aligned, they're aligned here in this presentation slide for a specific reason. Order matters. Test the position of your bullet points. A very strong bullet point can be the first bullet point, which will lead to reading other bullet points. The final bullet point, being a good closing bullet point, will also lead to reading the in-between bullet points. If you have one at the top that's very strong, one at the bottom that's very strong, and one in the middle that are very strong, it will matter for the reader to continue through. So think about the positioning. Have dozens available because the bullet points are totally undervalued. They will do so. You can, with a picture and a bullet point, you can sell a crap load of product. If you just have picture, bullet point, credit card form, you'll still make sales if they're the right picture bullet points. Bullets use left and right brain, so keep in mind, and I'll show you left and right brain. I'll show you examples of this on the right hand side. And don't go apostrophe crazy. That's actually not supposed to say apostrophe. This is where the English teacher can help you. That's supposed to be exclamation point. Did I mention I got like a D in English? But yet I think I make more than my English teacher ever thought was possible. Use different checks and bullet points. If you use different checks and different bullet points, you'll find that using like a green check mark or a black box with a check mark through it has a completely different result than just a star. A star will get you so far. A checkbox will get you farther, depending upon what you're trying to say. So play with your bullets and your checks. Don't just use what everyone else uses because you think that they've tested it. I guarantee you many of them haven't. So let's look at some bullet points we've got here on the right. 167% increase using fractions. That's where I'm tickling the left brain a little bit. Give me some justification. Fractions, people love fractions. I went to get an energy drink at the store, and it said 35% more free. Right next to another energy drink that was the exact same size. Same freaking cost. Which one do you think I bought? I bought the one that said 35% more free. Stupid. It makes no sense whatsoever, but I did it because it had a big 3.5 and a percent symbol on it. Got my interest. Same freaking size as the one next to it. I knew what I was doing when I was doing it. So use those fractions if you've got them. So powerful you need a red cape. Bullet points are pretty damn powerful, so just to keep in mind when you're using them where the exclamation points are going to be. Your life now with fun and freedom. So you've got a little right brain in there. Recommended by 9 out of 10. Again, left brain. And the recommended statement is also a flash reader. It's a passive reader. People see it, they read quickly. They don't actually have to read it. Fast, easy, and fun. People just love fast, easy, and fun. Everyone loves fast, easy, and fun. I don't care who you are. Calorie-free, guilt-free, and free to try. Secrets so amazing your best friend would never tell you. That one I actually used a line break in because I wanted you to see how I would position a line break in them. I wouldn't put the line break in the middle. You notice it's at the end? It's at the very end. I wouldn't stuff it in the middle unless it was really, really something amazing, and I probably wouldn't stick it at the end anyway because it would screw with the ocular flow of the page. Call to action. Use big arrows. Big fat arrows create action. Pretty simple. Use large fonts. Large fonts sell products. We'll talk about more about that later. Use orange colors. A blue stroke and bevel around an orange button has been tested. There has probably been more money spent on an orange button with the blue bevel than than you will ever spend in your entire lifetime. Why? Think of one company that begins with an A and sounds like Amazon, and you'll see. Look at their button. They use a service called Optimost, which optimizes. I think they were using Optimost. Let me rephrase. So I think they use Optimost. They used to, at least that's what I remember Optimost saying 5 years ago when they were trying to get me to give them $10,000 a month for their optimization system. And they were doing like Taguchi method optimization, and needless to say, the winner has been that orange button with the blue stroke around it for years. So copy genius and copy boatloads of spent cash. Amazon is genius and boatloads of spent cash. Keep in mind that ugly is okay. You don't have to look professional. Ugly is just fine. Make eye flow go here. So you get to always think about the eye flow. We read from left to right, top to bottom. Know that and use it to your advantage. If you've got something on the right-hand side that is your most compelling copy and your most compelling statement, and then you want the user to go from right to left, you're screwing with the user's brain. Start left, go right. Go left, right, top to bottom. Okay? So always keep that in mind when you're doing your call to action. Put social proof close to your call to action, so that when the person has got that mouse over the buy button, like a lot of us do, if you watch your ClickTail reports, if you use ClickTail, I highly recommend getting ClickTail, you'll find that people will just sit there with that mouse over the buy button for a little while. After they put all their credit card information in, the social proof close to the buy button will help that action actually take place. Put the terms close and clear to your call to action. Here are some call to actions that we used in the past. Try it now, add to cart, buy now, rush my order, order now, and check out. Do not use add to cart if they're on the last page of your process, if they're actually checking out. Okay? Please don't do that, because it'll confuse the user. You can use add to cart in the beginning, just don't use it in the end. No one uses add to cart in the free trial space right now, by the way. No one's doing it. They're doing rush my order instead. That's one you see everywhere. Sub call to action. It's not always needed, but if you have it, great. Above or below the call to action, you can do things like limit the quantities, qualify buyers, and highlight the why. So you can do things like limit one per household. This is also used in the disclaimer too. So you have to kind of play with your disclaimer and your sub call to action, and you'll see how all those play out in the landing pages that I'm going to show you. Qualify your buyers. So you can do things with the sub call to action where you're qualifying them as though they're getting something special, and make sure they are getting something special. So limited to those who need to lose 5 to 10 pounds, or you can do things like serious customers only. Use that a lot. These can also be in the disclaimer position. So again, you have to play with it. You don't need the sub call to action if you're using a disclaimer. If you're not using a disclaimer, then use sub call to action. And then you can highlight the why. Why are they buying now? Disclaimer. I get a little more information on the disclaimer side because they're kind of close to one another. Always use this as a benefit. Now, a lot of people think the disclaimer should be used to disclaim things that are negative. I disagree. I think the disclaimer should be used to explain every benefit that you were previously viewing as a negative. There's nothing negative about your sales campaign because you believe in it and because you know it should help people. If you have a problem with your own sales campaign where you feel that you need to disclaim something, I mean, you will need disclaimers if you're doing diet or things like that, or income disclaimers and stuff like that that you can put at the bottom. But that's legal jargon, right? Use your disclaimer as a benefit. I've seen this done, and we've done it a lot myself, where you can pose everything as a benefit. A lot of people are afraid to talk about their continuity program. I think that's baloney. I think continuity program is a benefit. Absolutely. you get to join our program. And when you are satisfied, it's only $27 a month to get the best damn program that exists, period. Why would you not want to pay $27 a month? If you don't like it, you can leave any time, and we're here for you. We will make sure that you succeed. Bam. Instant passionate statement from someone recorded on the page, or passionate statement in text done properly. You've turned that negative into a positive. So always use your disclaimer if you can as a benefit. And I'll give you some examples here on the right-hand side in just a moment. Understand that the user is guarded and they're looking for the catch. So give them a good catch. And I've got good catches on the right here again. Normal disclaimers at the bottom of the page. So your normal disclaimers like individual results, or not individual results, but your income disclaimers, and put all that other stuff at the bottom that you need to put in the way that the terms that your attorney says you have to place it. But put it in a positive way at the top of the page. Now, obviously, and you can say things like, obviously, only you can control your own income. Your own results will vary based on your own abilities and dedication. Well, that goes without saying. But unfortunately, because we're in a sue-rich society, you have to say that. So make those statements benefits. If you need a disclaimer, make it a benefit instead, which you just talked about, and don't get all lawyer on them. What that means is don't try and talk like an attorney. Talk like you talk to everyone else, and then if you've got to put some legal crap there, say, here's the legal crap our attorney made us put on the page. Great. Now you've put a distinction, a barrier between you and the legal junk, so it's not you are not the legal person. You're the person who said, here's the stuff our attorney made us put because we have to be compliant with the attorney stuff. I'm just a cool guy selling you a cool product, which you are. So let's look at some of these examples. Sorry, offer may be limited to stock on hand. Limit one per household. Those make sense, don't they? I mean, they just make sense. $5.95 shipping required. Sorry, serious customers only. Which, I mean, that's one of my favorite of all time. Sorry, serious customers only. Because here's what you really want to do. You really only want serious customers. You don't want non-serious customers. Who wants a non-serious customer? What good is that going to do you? You're going to do nothing but hurt them and hurt yourself because you're wasting both of your time. Sorry, no rain checks. I love no rain checks. Love it. You cannot come back and get this offer again later. If you don't take it now, I can't guarantee you're going to have it again in the future. Sorry, no coupons may be applied to this special offer. I love that one. That one's so great. Obviously, okay, I read this one already. Obviously, only you can control your own income. Your own results are going to vary based on your own abilities and efforts. And this applies to you, too, watching this video right now. Obviously, I can't tell you how successful you're going to be. You're going to need to put this stuff in action for yourself and see how successful you're going to be. You can fail. And if you think you're going to fail, then you will fail. So know that you can do it. Apply yourself and see what kind of results you get. The only way to know is to never freaking give up. Ever. Let's keep going. Call center scripts. You're going to need to collect. These are all assets you're collecting. Remember, you're making these big lists. And then you're going to take all these assets that you're collecting. You're going to put them into something called a Curio doc if you're a Mac person, or you'll put them into your online project resource website if you're using project resource management software. And then you're going to dump them all into that one central location so that you and your copywriters or your banner people, or if it's just you running even if it's you just running your own shop and you're your own everything, having all of your thoughts centralized into one location will make you so much more effective. I mean, just ridiculously more effective at being able to keep your head on straight because there's a lot of stuff to go through. So for the call center scripts, even if you're outsourcing to a call center over, like we use At Last Fulfillment out of Colorado, guy Jim Gardner. I love that guy. Such a good call center. Good people who like working with folks who get it. You're going to need to give them call center scripts. So they'll need to have love call scripts, upsell call scripts, planting seed scripts. We'll talk a little bit more about planting seeds later on. Upsells we'll talk about. I have a whole section on upsells. Refund scripts. I got a whole section that talks about refunding. Complaints, legal threats about the product, and how to use the cart. All of those things we'll talk about in future sections, but you're going to need to collect all of these scripts together so that you can hand them off to whomever. And if there's a change in call center, you need to hand them to the new call center. Okay? You'll also need all emails in and out. all non-buyer error emails, credit card decline errors, thank you receipts, shipment notices, surprise bonus emails, cancellation receipts, refund receipts, text-based emails, and HTML emails. Now don't freak out, because the last stuff and this stuff, we've included a lot of templates in this package already. So you don't have to go going crazy, having to work from scratch and without no basis to start with. Keep in mind, they're templates, so you have to modify them to your own liking. You have to review them to make sure that you're comfortable, but you're not having to start from square one all by yourself. Okay? Image and video assets. You will need lots of images and lots of video assets. You'll want to collect images of men, women, product shots, package shots, future vision imagery, credibility, pain point imagery, happy couples, product vertical images, secure cart images, and these are images and videos too, both, so I'm going to cover them all at once. Guarantee certificates and post-sale images. Let's go through and look at these each individually, because they're also very important. Men. Consider the age of your demographic. If you're marketing to a 40-year-old male, do not put a picture of a 40-year-old male up. 40-year-old men don't want to be 40-year-old men. They want to be 30-year-old men, just like a 30-year-old woman wants to be a 20-year-old woman. So understand the rule of 10 for every image that you're using. Okay? Even with seniors. A 70-year-old woman does not want to be 70-year-old woman. She wants to be 60. Follow me? Okay. Remember the goal and put your man in the goal image. So if you're selling a weight loss product, don't use a fat guy. Use a skinny guy. I mean, common sense, but it needs to be said. Good abs sell products, especially if you're in the supplement space, which a lot of people are probably picking this up are in the supplement space. So use that. Use the picture of abs. Good abs sell product. Just keep in mind that when you go to advertise, in a lot of cases, you won't be able to use that same ab imagery dominating the advertisement. You may have to minimize the skin space. If you look at it at a pixel, which is a pixel by pixel area of inventory, you may have to shrink the guy's ab, shrink the whole ab picture down a little bit so you have more other copy and other things in the ads. But because their abs are so powerful, a lot of people don't want the ad to be completely full of abs. Women, again with them, consider the age of the demographic, follow the 10 under rule, and remember the goal shot of the woman. So in this image on the screen here, you can see that there is someone who is helping an elderly person. This young lady helping an elderly person would be a perfect goal image for a college program, for like University of Phoenix or one of those other things. This other one here with the woman fantasizing, that would be great for all kinds of stuff. She's attractive, she's in good shape, she's thinking about how happy her life is. And of course with women, of course, abs sell product. So if you've got a diet offer, female abs sell product like mad. Product shots. Clean and clear imagery only. Please do not use degraded imagery if you can help it. Good, clean, clear product shot. If the rest of the page looks like crap, at least have the product look good. For digital products, a good CD or book image will help a great deal. So make sure that you have a graphic artist make you a good CD or book product package so that it's really quickly and easily understood what it is that you're selling. If it's instant digital download, put instant download right across it. So if you're selling an audio program and it's digital only, then you can use the visual of a CD. Just put a label right across the front, digitally delivered, or instant download. Use drop shadows to create a 3D lifelike perception for your customers, and an outer glow will cause a larger than life effect. We use those quite a bit. Don't use too many effects, though. The last thing you want to do is get all 1996, and that's no other way I can say it because I've been in this for too long. You don't want to get 1996 on them. Don't have the the images have so much bevel and emboss and shadowing and effects and be lame bevel and embossing effects that you look like you just designed this in college. That's the last thing you want. Show a model using your product is very helpful because people like to be able to see implementation. When you're going through, it's important that they can see the implementation of the product. Plain shots and staggered shots are fantastic, and don't optimize the image too much. Again, make sure that you use quality looking images. Package shots. Include all products in package shots. When you're putting together your product, make sure that you try and take photographs of the packages that you're going to construct together. It is much harder to put the packages together after the shots are taken. However, you can piece them together once you have product shots. So it's better to get them all together at once. If you can't, then do them individually at least so you can put your packages together. So remember, the product is the actual product you're selling, and the package is the product with other products mixed in. You put all of your products together into a package, and then you produce your package at a certain price point, which becomes your offer. So add beauty to the package for an added attraction. There is a reason why products on the television and on the internet show people in happy scenes. Think about, I'm sorry I have to go here because this is the only thing I can think of right now. Think about tampon ads. How many tampon ads do you see actually show a person using the product? None. It's not going to happen. What's going to happen is they're going to show her running through a field happy as a clam with money falling from the skies and huge stud guys waiting for her, or she's swimming in or whatever. Remember, the more attractive you make the surroundings of your product, the more attractive your product becomes. So use beauty around your package to add an added attraction level to your product. It's not always about the product in use. While it does help, it's not necessary all the time. It's better to have a good balance. So use that different imagery to create your testing bed of different photos that you'll use to see how you can affect your conversion rate. Larger images sell for more money. So the bigger the product appearance, the more perceived value. You've already figured this out when you bought your first product that came in a massive big plastic form thing, and you cut away, almost cut your damn hand open on the scissors trying to open up the package, or you cut yourself on the package itself, only to find that the package inside the big plastic presentation was only about 1 inch in size. But yet the box itself was 12 inches high by 8 inches wide by 4 inches deep for a 1 square inch product. So use larger images to sell your product for more money. If you look on the right-hand side here, the Black American Heritage Program that we've created, it's huge. It looks enormous, because bigger packages sell for more. If I just showed 3 books stacked side by side, which you can see the other 2 books there, it's not going to sell for as much. Just keep it in mind. Future vision imagery. Images that show the customer what life will be like after the product. More free time, more family time. Look at this one with the kid in the car. He's got his perfect car. A slimmer self, a more active self, selling health products for the top last 2. Having fun, which applies to any product if you ask me. And materialism. Keep in mind that all of this future vision imagery has to do with materialistic endeavors, unless you're talking about a more spiritual campaign, in which case then a more Zen-like imagery would be appropriate, which still has to do with materialism because it's still self-serving. If you show the woman meditating on the beach, it still is to a certain extent slightly materialistic because she is envisioning herself on the beach. So understand that we need to play to the average person's needs at that point in time. And their needs normally, when they're coming to purchase your product, are materialistic. Pain point imagery. If you can show the pain in a customer's day, it will really help them to understand that you understand. Write copy that coincides with the image. I don't use this too much in my ads because I don't like to dwell on the negative too much. There are a lot of people who do. use negative imagery to sell product, and from what I understand, it works exceptionally well. Personally, I don't include a lot of negative imagery in my advertising campaigns, and I may be making less than those who do use it. So just understand that. I'm not saying that it doesn't work. I'm just saying I use it less, so I didn't mention it here a lot because I don't know it very well. Okay? Happy couples. I do use a lot of happy couples, but there's really not much to say. Happy couple is a happy couple. Use images of couples in their goal setting, whatever the goal setting is. If it's skinnier and more active, then it's skinny, more active. If it's richer and playing on a yacht somewhere, then it's richer and playing on a yacht somewhere. Remember the rule of 10 for the couples too. Unless you're getting into the 20s, and obviously you don't want to go below 22 or so in your age of your people. So don't go down to the teens if they're 20 years old, of course. Attractive and fun couples always sell product more than non-attractive, boring couples. Who wants to be unattractive and boring? Product vertical images. Use images that are relevant to your niche. For business, use money, suits, meetings. For health, use exercising, good foods, exercise equipment. For stocks and finance, use dollar signs, charts. You get the point. You don't have to overthink it. Just think of whatever. Type into iStockPhoto.com. Again, it's iStockPhoto.com. Type into there whatever it is that you're selling. You'll find images that'll match, and you'll be able to buy them for $1. Lots of us use iStockPhoto. In fact, too many probably, because you've seen that same happy couple everywhere. Credibility. As seen on TV, as seen on web, they're used a lot. News story logos, if there's been news press surrounding your product or an ingredient that you're featuring in your product, if you're going to say, now with green tea, and you want to include green tea references, you can say that. Say, look, I can't say you can say that. You have to talk to your attorney, obviously. I'm not an attorney. I'm just telling you what I'm seeing in the industry right now, which is people saying, this product is in my formulation, if you will, and here is the news surrounding that specific product inside of my formulation, or ingredient, if you will. And you have to say, these ingredients have been featured in, or individual ingredients featured in. Or if you're advertising a Google product, look at these ones here on the left. Google's new ad format can help you grow. Google is the world's most powerful 10-year-old. These are all references to how powerful Google is for a Google product that talks about making money with Google. There's also a couple other references here for a product that was actually featured in the media spotlight. If you get reviews from a website, fantastic. Feature them. What's the best way to get reviews? Send your product for review to those companies. It's not as hard as you would think. Send your product out, have someone review it, and ask them to do a review for you. And they'll do it for you. And it doesn't have to be a huge company. I have no idea who in the hell Health Science Newsletter is. But that HSI logo and the testimonial from that company sounds amazing. So I put it on there because it sounds great. I have no idea who Menopause RX is, but it looks amazing and it sounds great. And look at the media spotlight covers that it adds to the campaign. It's enormous. The magazines obviously were a huge one, but this company actually had a PR company working on their behalf. Which again, if you do that, that's money very well spent if they get you a couple of magazine posts. Any awards your product has won, magazines or print coverage, all that stuff can be added to the credibility. There are many people who will even use the as seen on or as seen advertised in, and they will put the logos from the websites that they advertised on because they advertised in them. Secure cart. Use standard lock imagery, hacker-safe imagery, encryption statements, trustee seals, honesty seals, and there's even the new thing with the VeriSign seal, which costs more money now but gives you the green bar in IE8. If this is your first time hearing about this, research it. You need the green bar. In the future, people will not buy, I'm guessing, unless that green bar shows up because they know there is more trust and credibility with that website. Because trust me when I say you have to go through a grueling process to get that green bar. They got to call your bank. This is not like the standard merchant account. These guys, they go through some serious background checking on you to make sure that you're not some loser looking to take everyone's credit cards. Guarantee certificate. A guarantee certificate outline is fantastic. Use a gold or a green seal. Usually you want one large certificate and one small certificate, so you can use the small one in little places around the website where it's important, like right around the button and stuff. This one is a little tiny one that this company, Reductase 5, Trinell, one of our clients, created. It's a great little simplistic certificate. Notice they've got the seal on there. You can also use the green border seals around. This one just used a plain white seal. A drop shadow to make the certificate seem a little more authentic and tangible. And make a guarantee. Make a good guarantee. Let them get their money back. You don't have to go crazy and give money back a year later. 30 days is fine. Customers, believe it or not, will be happy with a 30-day guarantee. I'm sure there's a lot of people who would disagree with that. Fine. You can disagree as to your heart's content. I've found that for us, we don't need to include any more than a 30-day guarantee. You can go up to 90 if you really want to, but anything more than that, why? People aren't going to use it. Don't give them the opportunity to. If the economy gets considerably worse, then you can have problems. And one thing most people don't realize, most merchant accounts freaking hate when you give longer guarantees. If they find out you're doing it, they'll make you turn it back because they won't let you do a 1-year guarantee. So just keep that in mind. Post-sale. Happy customer service agents photographs, happy product recipient photographs. Look at this delivery man handing the product over. Now you're starting to paint some future pictures. We actually use this postman in the pre-sale also because I want them to visualize the postman arriving or the UPS guy or whoever arriving, bringing them a new product. We all love to get stuff in the mail when it's not bills. Work that to your advantage. Show it showing up. Get them excited about it before they're even finished ordering if you want, or definitely after they finished ordering so you prevent buyer's remorse. More imagery from the front end also. So you can take some of the imagery that you also included in the front end of the product and put it on the back end. Remember, you're not done selling. Video of the agent to bond with the customer. If you can get a video on the page of the agent so that they can bond with the customer is even better. Testimonials. Testimonials. Testimonials are a little bit different. Here's the thing with testimonials. You can't have too many. You can never have too many testimonials. And you should be thinking from the very beginning of the time you start your campaign, how can I get more testimonials? What should I be doing to collect more testimonials? You'll need to put a testimonial process in place to get them. Video testimonials are best. Audio testimonials are, to me, tied with text testimonials because you can always take an audio testimonial and transcribe it to text. Now you have it. But you can't take a text testimonial and turn it into a video now, can you? Or a text testimonial and turn it into audio, unless you're using an actress to read for the text testimonial, which I don't know the legalities of that. I've just avoided it because I didn't feel right. Create a testimonial process, which is what I just mentioned a moment ago. Make sure that you have a testimonial process in place so that when the customer buys, you're constantly asking for them to reaffirm their process. Here's the thing. If you create a little text box that allows people to type into it and say something as simplistic as, tell us what you think so far, they'll tell you. And you put on your terms right there that you can use their testimonials or anything that they type into the box as future marketing stuff. And you already know their name because you collected it. Tell us what you think so far. This has been really great. At first I thought blah, 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 blah. And then you can even put some preceded text in there that once they click on the box disappears. Using some simple JavaScript stuff. I don't even know if it's JavaScript. I think it actually already exists that way, so that when you click in the form box, it goes away. Anyhow, collect them. Ask them for every step of the process. A testimonial doesn't have to be a success story. A testimonial can just be a success can be measured not by the results, but by the interaction. So if the customer is happy with the process that they just went through in buying your product, and they haven't even gotten the product yet, you can get a testimonial then. Then you can also get another testimonial from them after the product's received. And then you get another testimonial from them after they've taken the product. So you can keep continuing to collect testimonials, remembering that any time they give you a testimonial, their future affinity for the program is going up. Their success rates will go up. So if I'm in there and you ask me, how did you like the process so far? We hope you have found it to be as enjoyable as others have in the past. Give us a couple of fantastic comments of what you think. And then leave them a little text box. In the text box, this was great. I didn't realize this was going to be so easy to take this free trial. And the offers that I saw, even though I only took one of them, were fantastic. And let them type in whatever they see after they see your preceded thought, if you will. And then when they click in the box, they can put in whatever they want, and they can hit submit. But you're leading them to positive conclusions, okay? Just make sure you create a testimonial process. Another thing is to make sure that you collect all of your testimonies into one central location. That's one of the biggest things. I mean, remember, all this is getting into your central database. Or your central, I shouldn't say database, that's a big scary word. Your central area. If it's an online system or if it's a Curio document, if you're a Mac person and you use that, then great. Just make sure it's in one location. And as they come in, they get added to that one location. Because a lot of times what will happen is great testimonials will come in and then they won't get used. Or they won't get used for a very, very long time. Why? Well, because people will forget that they're there. So many clients have ended up sending me testimonials that were fantastic. And it's, we're 6 months into the campaign and I'm asking them, where'd that come from? Oh, I don't know, we got that like a year ago. And I'm sitting beside myself just gasping, going, what? You've had that gold nugget this entire time and we haven't used it? Like, oh, you think it's really that good? She only says she lost 5 pounds. But listen, she's crying. There's a tear on the letter she sent in. Good gravy. This is perfect stuff. So unless you collect them all into one location, you're never going to know. You're never going to be able to pull them out and say, look, we've got this, we've got that, for any of the marketing partners that you've got working at on your side, if you will. So get them into one central location. And if you've paid them, by all means, please don't hide it. Don't use it. Don't use it as a negative. Use it as a positive. You can earn $1,000 for your testimonial, for your video testimonial. When we use your video on the site, we will pay you $1,000 just so you can tell your success story to help other people just like you succeed. Or when you implemented 7 of the techniques that we've talked about in this business strategy, send in your video testimonials, tell us how well they work for you, and we'll instantly pay you $500. And then they're excited to send in their testimonial, and those who see the testimonial realize these people were paid because they did well. So don't be afraid to hide that you paid them. And by all means, please definitely disclose that you paid them if you paid people. Substantiation. You got to prove your product works. I mean, you don't really have to. You can just tell people, look, buy it or not, don't buy it. I really don't care. Try it. See if it works for you. A lot of times, if you're going to make a claim, though, well, all the time, if you make a claim, you have to justify that claim with substantiation. Oh, look at that. Show specific examples of how it's working, or specific examples of what you're doing to make it work. If it's a supplement, get the developers to provide all of the substantiation before you start. If they're saying, hey, we've got green tea, we've got guarana, we've got all these things in our dietary supplement, then great. Get the substantiation documents from the manufacturer prior to marketing your product so that you can be sure that you're following the letter of the law. If you've got, if you're going to say that you made $1 million with Google, be able to show you made $1 million with Google. So that when people come at you, you can show them, look, here's the company, or go talk to this company. This is the company that's done it, or I was the guy who did it, or whatever. Just remember, if you make claims, substantiate them. Here's the great thing. You don't have to make claims. You don't have to make any claims to sell your product. And I'll show you how. Don't take any of this lightly, okay? You gotta follow all of these. The substantiation thing is huge. Make sure you're backing everything up that you say. Objections and rebuttals. Develop a list of the top 20 objections. That's supposed to say objections, not rebuttals. Again, with the English teacher. I don't have one. Develop a list of the top 20 objections. Create answers to all of the top 20 objections with rebuttals. So basically what that means is find out the top 20 reasons why your customers aren't buying. If you don't know the top 20 reasons, then you're not asking the questions and you can't fine-tune your process better. So ask all the time. What's the biggest reason you're leaving today? How can we have done this better to earn your trust and to get you to try the product? So those are going to change. Create the top 20 list, and as you go through your process, remember to update your asset list with the new ones. Because if these don't change, then you're not doing something right. If your objections change and your rebuttals change, then that means you're addressing the objections with the pre-rebuttals in your sales letter so that you're allowing the objections to change. So if I told you in my objection, I didn't want to buy from you because I didn't believe that the product could work for me, well, then I would need to recraft my sales material, my landing pages, so that I made you believe that the product could work for you. Or I answered the objection with, hey, I don't know if it's going to work for you. For all I know, it could never work for you. Try it first and find out. So you let them understand and answer the objection with the rebuttal before the objection can come up. And then that will mean that the landscape of objections will continually change as you place your pre-rebuttals into your process. You can also use these in your call center scripts, in your follow-up autoresponders, and they will help to increase the conversion of the campaign. Remember, they're going to change. Products. What are the products that you should have? Don't look at the packages or offers, just list the products. Make your list of products. So, when you go to create your product list, make a list of everything that you have that could be a product, and then you'll create your different packages. So if you're selling a digital product on how to make money with Craigslist, you can have the Craigslist physical PDF product. Then you can have a secondary product, which would be your Craigslist monthly newsletter, which talks about the changes in Craigslist marketing or new campaigns that you've implemented. That could be another product. Another product could be the Craigslist product on audio. Another would be a DVD. So now we've taken what was previously viewed as one product and now turned it into 5 products. Add those to your product asset list so that you can make packages later. Think about how you might, this is where I say, think about how you can split up the product to make more products. Very important. How can you create more products for use in upsell and package creation? Because you're going to need products for your upsell and your package creation when you go through and start doing your upsells and when you start making various packages. If they're digital, can you create a digital audio like I just talked about? If they're physical, are you giving away more than anyone's going to get through? Think about that. I'm going to be totally guilty of that when I send out this package to you guys, because I'm going to be giving you more than probably most people will get through. And I know that. But I can't not do it because I need to be fair to you, and I need to make sure that you succeed if you apply yourself 100%. Now, in this case, with you and your product, maybe you give people a little bit less than you would have and break it out. If I really wanted to, I would put this thing as a $2,000 product, and then I would charge you $1,000 a month, and I would just send you section 1 to begin with, and then I'd send you another section every single month. You'd probably be more successful with it. But I think time is of the essence for our product. So I need you to get it all and get it all in as fast as possible. So think about, from a physical product perspective, let's say you're selling a digital book on how to meet women online. How can you break that product up into little micro products so that you give them the first little piece and then you time deliver the rest of it, so it becomes a training course? Your homework for tonight is to do this. Give them 3 things that they need to do, and then that way, that was Ray sneezing. I don't know if you heard that. So the camera shake. How can you break that product up into multiple products or into a time release product that will keep them engaged more? Okay? Remember, most people will never go through half the product that you're going to deliver anyway. So break it up into pieces. I mean, honestly, if I had more time, that's what I would have done with this, but I just don't have the time to do it, so there it is. Packages. Create different package variations of your product. How can you include other people's products into your package to increase value? Think about that for just a moment. There are many, many other products out there. There are a lot of people who have complementary products to yours who will actually give you their product to give away for free. Why? Because they will end up selling something to the customer also. So it's very important that you consider how you can include other people's products in your package to increase the value of your package. Remember the 10x factor. You need to increase the value to 10x what you're delivering to them.